From the Alex Trebek stage at Sony Picture Studios, this is Inside Jeopardy!
Hello and welcome back to Inside Jeopardy, your exclusive and official podcast destination for all things happening in the world of Jeopardy! I'm Sarah Foss and I'm joined by Buzzy Cohen. Buzzy's back.
I'm back. And Sarah, I can't help but notice you've got a little bit of a morning voice going on here.
Yeah, that's, and this is good. We taped the last 3 days.
Yeah.
And if you would have heard me on Monday, as you know, I fill in for Johnny.
Yeah.
And so we get to do that first rehearsal. And I really hadn't even spoken that morning because I knew it wasn't good. So I was trying to kind of conserve my voice. So no one really knew how bad it was until I said, "This is Jeopardy season 40." And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you?" So yeah, I got a little bit of a bug.
Wow.
I'm on lots of meds. I'm feeling better, but the show must go on.
The show does go on.
And so we were going to just do everything we could to wrap up the season. We really pushed through. We are officially finished for foreseeable future until we kick off shows in the fall. But what a great season it's been, and I feel very relieved.
Yeah, we'll get some rest. You know who hasn't been resting?
Victoria.
Yeah. Coming off of her Masters win, doesn't rest on her laurels. She went out and won. She's the first American and the first woman to win the World Quizzing Championships. I don't know if you know about this, but it is serious business.
Well, I've been reading and I've seen some comments from people like Brandon Blackwell.
Yeah.
Who said, if you think she was good and knowledgeable in Jeopardy Masters, that's nothing compared to what you need to know for these World Quizzing Championships. So, wow.
People have tried to get me to sit for this test, and I'm like, why would I do that? I'll be found out as a fraud. Everyone will, they post your rankings at the end. Everyone will see me way at the bottom. I have a certain aura I've developed, and it would all go away in a second. So I cannot believe, congratulations again, Victoria.
Yes, all hail the queen.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that she's a part of our Jeopardy world and that we get to watch her succeed in these other realms. And this is her time, and she is obviously making the most of it and succeeding at everything she does. Another little success I heard about was a new show, the Einstein Challenge.
That is right. We talked about it, I think, a little while ago on the pod.
Yes.
Because
it was kind of a secret project.
It was kind of a secret project, but now it is coming to air. It is airing on the History Channel on Sundays. Set your DVR, because in some places it's on a little bit early, but it is super fun. Definitely a watch with the family show. Where we bring on some experts and they have to explain really complicated stuff to our panel of kids. And then I ask the kids questions, and for every question the kids get right, the experts win money. So it's really fun. Something for everyone, because I, didn't know how the DART rockets were set up to keep us from being hit by asteroids. I didn't know how Roman aqueducts were built. I didn't know how to read hieroglyphics.
You are a fraud, Buzzy.
I am a fraud.
We're hearing it right here and now. What is the age of the kids on the panel?
6 to 8. They're between 6 and 8.
Oh my goodness.
And they're so fun. It's really sweet because some of them, it's like their favorite subject. The kid who's like really into space, and then they've got a JPL scientist there and he's like fangirling, and then they're also really tough. They're like, he didn't know what he was talking about.
I love it.
And you can only get that from a kid.
I love it. So we're going to watch that on Sundays.
Yes.
And then of course Monday through Friday, you're not wanting to miss Jeopardy now, because we've got this champion. You may have heard of her, Adriana Harmeyer, put on quite a show last week, securing her spot in the Tournament of Champions. Today, she's actually going for her 9th win. So, biggest champion of season 40 so far.
Going for the Buzzy tonight.
Going for the Buzzy. Can she make it 9? Once you hit a Buzzy,
like we said, a super champ is anyone who's won more than me. So
there you go. So will she just end at Buzzy status, or will she make it to
Tune in next time.
Champion? Yeah, tune into the next pod. But before we get into all of our highlights, let's take a look back at this week in Jeopardy history.
Where am I, 400?
I'm here on board the fireboat John S. Damrell, helping protect this city's harbor, south of Winthrop and north of Quincy. Yep, I know. This was an emotional one for me. Alexa prepared this one. It was June 10th, 2022, when after 21 seasons, visits to over 300 cities, 46 countries, all 50 states, and 7 continents. My final Clue Crew clues aired. The category was Where Am I? It was a popular category that we featured over the years, and this category had clues from myself and also my amazing Clue Crew buddy, Jimmy McGuire. In this category, I presented clues from the National Mall in D.C., the Presidio in San Francisco, and as you just heard, a fireboat in Boston. It wouldn't be a Clue Crew clue without me having a few stories about it.
Of course, yeah.
So one thing is that for Where Am I, they had to gather enough clues from enough different places and not clues that had aired recently, because obviously we would do more than just a Where Am I in these places. So for the Presidio in San Francisco, that clue dates back to 2013 when I was pregnant with my now, will be this week 11-year-old.
Wow.
So sometimes Jimmy and I would be like, wow, they're really shaking that one out of the clue bag. Shaking it out of the clue bag.
I think it speaks to your inability to age that we could just put these clues next to each other and not miss a beat.
Yeah, that and my ability to kind of bend over when I was delivering clues so that you couldn't see the baby bump that was sticking out of my belly with both of my children. I think I did clues up to 35 weeks with both of my kids. And I just learned with the right over sweater and the right positioning, no one could tell unless you were looking from the side, of course.
Yeah.
And then for the fireboats in Boston, this was, oh my goodness. So they put me out on this boat. The crew was on land. They were then going to shoot 12,000 gallons of water every minute as I delivered the clue, showing off, the ability of this boat to do that. I was drenched, soaking wet in salt water. And on these shoots, we wouldn't just do one location. We would then go to the next location. So I remember being in the bathroom of a hotel under the hand dryer trying to blow dry my hair with the hand dryer and turn it all around so that we could go do something about the next location. And no one was any the wiser, but people who think the Clue Crew was always glamorous, it wasn't necessarily glamorous. It was incredible. It was amazing. I loved my job, but these are just some of the stories the unexpected moments of being a part of the Clue Crew.
I'm personally in denial that the Clue Crew is over because it was such a big part of the show and something I loved. And I just love hearing these stories, and I don't want to believe that we're not going to get more of these amazing stories.
Well, maybe for the 25th anniversary of when the Clue Crew came, maybe I can convince Michael that Jimmy and I should hit the road one last time with our walkers. We could do it. Actually, it's not that far away. It's only like 2 years away.
You guys do an around the world in 80 days, get in a hot air balloon or something.
There you go. I love it. That episode where the Where Am I category aired was actually when Erica Hosek secured his spot in that year's Tournament of Champions. He was a fan of the Where Am I? He responded correctly to 4 of the 5 clues and went on to have a runaway.
Wow, good for him.
All right, well, let's get into the highlights for the week. We kicked it off with returning champion Adriana Harmeyer going up for her 4th win against challengers Matthew Kahn and Carol Ritchie. It was a great Jeopardy round by all 3 players, but despite Carol's strong gameplay in Double Jeopardy, Adriana, like she does, cruising into a runaway win. We were all pretty excited because up until the 4th clue in Double Jeopardy, this was a perfect game. And
incredible.
Unfortunately, no one could come up with Juggernaut, and we were able to stump them. I didn't want to stump them because we still haven't had
a perfect
game this season.
Yeah.
And, what will we do at Honors if we don't have one? We won't have that award, I guess.
We won't. We'll have to skip it.
Well, after the game, Ken pointed out just how evenly matched Adriana and Carol were throughout. Take a listen.
Carol, the big score difference there kind of belies how well you played in that game. I was looking at the stats, and you and Adriana were so evenly matched. 47 buzzer attempts each. You were tied on the buzzer. But the Gulf of Aqaba,
Yeah, no, never.
Would that never have come to you?
Maybe, yeah. No.
Yeah, if you had a few more minutes, maybe you would have got
another
there.
minute would have been fine. Yes, thank you.
No, I'm getting into my 50s, and I'm increasingly like, hold on, Alex, just give me 1 second here. I know I'll come up with this, but the game moves very fast.
Know it in time.
But that was still an impressive game. Are you a Jeopardy fan from way back?
From ever, yes, of course.
Well, it shows. You're an expert quilter and Jeopardy player. That was a great
Thank you.
game. And some tough gets. I was on the record, Carol, with the writers that I thought Mayflower Compact was going to be a missed daily double. I thought that was very tough. But you got right to it.
That one, it was easy.
How did you know the Mayflower Compact?
It's just something that's stuck in my head for years.
Adriana, were any of these things in the 90s CD-ROM of Jeopardy?
I don't remember. The Declaration of Independence probably was in there somewhere.
You'd think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're now a 4-game winner with over 90K. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you won the first game of a new week. You got that under your belt. That must be a good feeling.
Pretty good, yeah.
So tomorrow would be a Tournament of Champions clinching 5th game for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you expect to be a TOC caliber player when you tried out or when you came in?
I hope so. You never
nice.
know, but it's very present on my mind now that is what the next episode means.
Should I not have mentioned it?
I knew. It was already there. I knew.
A lot of people giving Carol some love on social media, hoping maybe she'll see a return to the Alex Trebek stage for a second chance competition. Definitely someone in consideration, despite it being a runaway. She was right in there and obviously going
Unlucky
up against...
on that daily double, too.
Yeah, and unlucky to come up against a strong champion who's kind of hitting her stride.
Yep.
Well, on Tuesday, Adriana was back, and even after not finding any daily double, she secured a 5th win in a runaway, becoming our 4th official Tournament of Champions qualifier. I can't believe I'm saying it. It's an all-female field so far.
Yes.
Lisa Ann Walter, Allison Betts, Amy Hummel, Adriana Harmeyer. It's all A's, too. I don't know
Yes.
if you noticed. I mean, obviously, Lisa Ann,
Yeah.
our celebrity champion, but in the syndicated show, it's
Allison,
all A's.
Amy, and Adriana. Yeah. I think there should be a special name for a runaway without hitting the daily doubles. I'm going to workshop it, but that is
I
a
like
very
that.
hard thing to do. And, double hats off to Adriana. I'll think about it. I'll talk to some people, see if they have any ideas. Do you like that idea?
I love it.
Okay.
One Reddit commenter came up with something I also liked, which was the AAA Alliance of
Yes.
5-day champs. Amy, Allison, and Adrienne are here, and they're going to play the game their way.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, after the game, Ken told Travis that he was impressed by his response of Camille Claudel, and Travis said that he was actually driving to the Academy Museum the very day before taping. He saw banners along Fairfax about Camille Claudel. So Ken said, wow, if Waze had taken you on a different route, you may have never seen those banners.
It's one of those Slumdog Millionaires, You gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
And I think what it shows is actually that Jeopardy contestants, they pay attention to everything around them. We all are having these things all the time, but there's something special about the people that come on our stage where they are always drinking in everything around them.
Yes, many people could have driven by Fairfax,
Exactly.
looked up at that banner, received that clue the very next day and been like, who?
By the
What?
way, I'm sure I've driven on Fairfax any number of times in the last week, and I had no idea. I'd never seen this.
Well, good job, Travis. I spoke with Adriana after her win. Let's see how she was feeling, knowing she's headed to the TOC. Adriana Harmeyer, you are now a Tournament of Champions official qualifier with 5 wins. How does it feel?
It feels fantastic. It feels surreal.
I remember you saying your goal coming in was just to win 1 game. But did you ever hope maybe Tournament of Champions could be in your future?
I hoped. I tried not to think about it too much, but yeah, I hoped that I could make it this far.
Well, this is a very special season. For the first time ever, our Tournament of Champions tracker, it's all women at the top. How does it feel to be in that elite class?
It's wonderful. I am so excited to join the company of the other champions this season. I am all for the all-female tournament.
Well, of course, we have Lisa Ann Walter, our celebrity champion, but in syndicated Jeopardy, we have Allison, we have Amy, and now we have Adriana. What's up with the A names in season 40?
Maybe we're just trying to confuse everybody.
I like it. Well, whatever it is, it's working. What's been the best part so far of this run?
I really just love answering questions. And that might seem like an obvious answer, but when a category pops up that I know I have a background in or just something I'm interested in and I know I can just play through those clues, that's a really great feeling.
And you have done it with ease. One of the categories that you ran, we talked about, was regarding J-Archive, a little play on words. And we said, of course, as an archivist, it makes sense that that was when you did so well in.
Yes, I think I had to for my profession. That was my category.
Are you one of those people at work that your friends and colleagues say, you should go on Jeopardy, you know so much?
Yes, I've heard that a lot. So they're all going to have a wonderful surprise when they find out that this is what I've been doing.
Yeah. What is it like, of course, for those that are just watching at home? They don't realize sometimes you're playing game after game, up to 5 games in a single day. What's it like to try to keep that stamina game after game?
It takes a lot. It's hard. You want to walk off the stage and take a nap, but you have to turn around and come right back out again. It's just pushing through it and remembering that this is something that is just an uncomparable life experience. So I just want to make the most of it.
You mentioned memorizing every game in the Jeopardy CD-ROM, from the 90s. That clearly is paying off. But did you ever think as a younger version of yourself, like, hey, I'm going to be on the Alex Trebek stage one day talking about this, and it's going to actually end up being part of my Jeopardy journey?
Well, I never imagined that CD-ROMs would not be a normal thing for everyone to be talking about at the time. But yeah, I could only dream that I would end up here in person one day.
Who do you think is going to be the most proud of you when they find out you're a 5-game Jeopardy champion?
Oh, I think it's everybody. It's my family. It's my friends. They've all known for years that this is something I wanted to do. And yeah, I'm looking forward to letting the secret get out. It's been a little challenging keeping it secret from them when I know they're so excited for me.
Well, congratulations on a great run so far. Good luck in your next game.
Thank you.
And now, a quick word from our sponsor.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person point-of-sale system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Plus, they have the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. What I love about Shopify is how simple they've made it to grow your business. You can manage inventory, track payments, and view real-time insights all in one place. Shopify is there to support your success every step of the way because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Jeopardy, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Jeopardy now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Jeopardy.
Now, back to Inside Jeopardy. All right, well, on Wednesday, it was another strong start for Adriana. Although Allie Mead was right on her heels heading into Double Jeopardy, Adriana split the daily doubles in Double Jeopardy, but managed to maintain her runaway lead over Allie heading into final, securing her 6th win. This is the first time we've had a 6-game champion in season 40.
Yeah, I just want to give a great job to Allie. It's hard when you're up against someone who's on a roll like this, and to almost be able to catch her. It's hard to keep your head in the game when you're up against someone who's doing that. And for example, almost running that 21st century books category, that's real deal.
Yeah. And did you know why? Because she told Ken she's got all these audiobooks that she's, doing on her flight and just trying to really browse the latest options. In fact, she actually had Circe, which was one of the correct responses, on her phone.
Yeah, I actually listened to Circe as an audiobook. It's great.
Do you recommend it then?
I recommend it.
All right. Well, after the game, Ken asked Adriana if she was aware that we had not had a 6-game champion this season. And she said, well, I thought that was the case. And then he pointed out that she's now ahead on the TOC tracker on Jeopardy.com. And he said, do you ever take a look at that? And she joked, I try not to, but I'm very aware of it.
Correct answer, Adriana. Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah. Well, Allison Betts continues to just cheer on her fellow champions this season. She really kind of paved the way right off the bat. Writing on Reddit, she broke the curse. I would like to nominate Adriana to be captain of the TOC A team. Please do not take this as willingness on my part to play the role of Bosco. I could not rock that hair.
I just love all the A-Team references.
Right? It's so good.
Soldiers of Fortune.
And Allison, like I said, she came on right when we got back to regular games. What a great run. And then it's just been a series of wonderful female champions following her. So nice work.
Yeah.
Well, on Thursday, Adriana had another impressive Double Jeopardy round where she scored 14 correct responses. And despite once again not finding any daily doubles in this game, she earns another runaway, her 4th in a row.
Is it a Harmeyer? Did she just
Ooh.
have another Harmeyer?
Does she get it named after her?
Does she get it named after her?
What do you think, Adriana? Do you want your own thing?
We'll find out.
Okay.
I'll keep thinking. I like a Harmeyer. By the way, I noticed Benjamin has a singular style, and I remember being on the set not long after these shows taped and being told that there was a contestant that reminded folks of me.
Yes.
Well done, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Rocking the glasses.
The glasses,
nice
the suit and tie. He looks great.
Looking good. And that's why we thought he reminded us of you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed in the introduction to this show, sometimes the universe just aligns.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be the 6th day of the 6th month when our returning champion, Adriana, had just clinched her 6th consecutive victory.
That is just...
I love when things like that work out.
Get a lottery ticket.
I got excited when I was pinning that one. I was like, oh my goodness, it's June 6th and she's got a 6. Oh my gosh.
Good for you for noticing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's that Jeopardy mindset.
There it is.
It's
I'm
all
on
around us.
Fairfax and I'm like, hey, it's June 6th. In the post game, Ken pointed out that Adriana didn't seem to be daily double hunting. He said, you're playing the old fashioned way, taking categories in order. And she said, I like to know what the category means before I get into the harder clues. So far, that's worked out all right for me. Ken said, that's true. I'm not going to question it.
Yeah. We haven't really had someone who plays as straight ahead as Adriana against someone who plays in the whole tower style. And I wonder what happens when those two techniques come up against each other.
Well, I think what often happens, or at least what Ken has said happens, is that then you have to play Holt-Saurian to kind of match it, but it's not what you're familiar or comfortable with.
Well, that's what Ken decided to do.
Right.
But I don't know if Adriana would do that, and I wonder if pulling the game back to those initial clues and running the categories down would kind of mess with James's mojo. Because part of what happens is he's so dominant that he kind of drives the train and everyone gets on board.
Yeah.
And if somebody just was like, that's not what I'm doing, I wonder how that would play out. I'm interested.
Well, I know Alex would have loved a player
Yes.
like Adriana because there's nothing he appreciated more than a contestant who just took the category in order
Yep.
and did just what she is talking about, actually wanting to know what the category means before getting into the harder clues.
Yeah, really honoring the writers.
Yeah. Thank you, Adriana. I mean, I'm not judging. Everyone's got to play their game,
No.
but it has been refreshing to watch this and to see her be so successful in doing it. Well, we closed out the week with an exciting game that broke Adriana's streak of runaways. Kevin gave her a run for her money, ended the Double Jeopardy round trailing by $6,000, but still in contention. Adriana did continue her streak, however, of correct responses in Final Jeopardy, 4 in a row now, and she ends the week as an 8-game champion.
That is a fun weekend to spend as an
Right.
8-day champion, just walking around the farmer's market like you own the place. Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, Ken caught up with the players after this game. Let's take a listen.
Well, that one mattered. Was that a little more tense for you?
That was stressful. Yeah.
Kevin, congratulations on forcing the
Thank you.
the tight ending. But Adriana still had the lead headed into final, but you had to think about wagering, maybe for the first time in a while.
I did a lot of math.
More math than usual.
Yeah.
But you didn't seem that perturbed. You don't seem nervous. Do you feel like you've kind of had the experience of Podium 1 for a while now?
I think so. I've done well enough that whatever happens is okay, but also inside, I'm more stressed than I seem probably.
But that's interesting you say that. The pressure is lower now because you've already done everything you wanted to do, I guess.
Yeah.
What was your goal coming in? Did you have one?
Well, I wanted to not miss every question I tried, and then winning one game was a nice thing, and then that 5-game mark was something to really go for. So past that, this is just every day is great.
It's time to set a new goal, I guess. What would that be?
I don't want to say. I'm not going to put anything out there because I could
I don't
fail
blame
at
you.
it.
I just want to get out there and have fun, Ken.
Yeah.
Well, you played very well today. All three of you. I really enjoyed that game. Kevin, did you feel like you had a shot at that? It really, like that IEDs clue was very important. That would have been a runaway game if you had not been able to dig that one up.
Yeah, I mean, watching her the past several days, I was glad that final mattered.
So you had the chance to watch some of Adriana's earlier games this week. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think the intimidation factor ramped up each time she had a runaway game.
But you're scouting her, you know? You've got game tape, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure how helpful that is.
How about you, Amoga? What was it like watching Adriana clean house this week on Jeopardy?
I loved watching her, and especially because she's so nice. Like, it was a pleasure to chat with her in between. I couldn't root against her.
You do seem lovely, and seems like it could not have happened to a nicer person. What is it, 180,000-ish now? That's starting to get into life-changing money beyond just a trip.
Yeah.
Do you have other plans?
No. No, that's not a real amount of money. No
It
plans.
seems like it now. Like, I remember this. It just seems like a big number.
Yeah.
But someday a check's going to show up.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird day.
Well, you have lots of time to figure out what that money's for, but for now, just enjoy it. You're an 8-game champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
All right, now for this week's host chat, an audience member asked Ken, who is your favorite Seattle Mariner?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, it's going to sound basic, but you can't overstate how important Ken Griffey was to that town. Seattle had never had a big sports hero in any sport. Even the championship Sonics team was kind of a team effort. There was no superstar. And suddenly the kid was here. Everybody loved him. He still means an awful lot to me.
Well, Buzzy, little surprise, not just host chat this week, we've got a viewer question, and I feel like it's right down your alley.
All right.
Philip asks, greetings from Singapore. I've got a question about daily double wagering in a 2-day total point of fare. Players who need to wager on daily double clues in the second game often need to take into account the overall scoring situation, i.e. scores from the first game. Is that information available to players during daily doubles in the second game, or is it only available before Final Jeopardy? I imagine it would be hard enough for contestants to stay locked into the game without also having to remember the scores on the first game.
Great question, Philip. So they do give you a card at the beginning of the game that tells you the scores from the previous game. Of course, the host announces it, but then you have a little index card on your podium that you can check in with. So if you are someone who can do that kind of math on the fly, all that information is available to you. I am not that person. So for me, it was, am I making a big wager or am I making a small wager? As you know, in my 2-day total point of fare, I didn't have that much math to do because I had $0 at the end of the first day. So I was really just trying to make up as much ground as I could.
All right, Philip, hope that answers your question. All right, well, that wraps up today's show. As always, we will be back next Monday to discuss more game highlights. In the meantime, you will be celebrating Father's Day, so happy early Father's Day to you. I'm sure your girls will make it very special.
Happy early Father's Day to Chris.
Oh, yes, to my husband. And also happy early birthday to my Taylor, who will be turning 11 the day before Father's Day.
My wife, who will be turning...
Oh, my goodness. So many celebrations.
Yeah.
And you'll want to tune in on Monday, not just to hear about, Buzzy's Father's Day and my daughter's birthday, but also because Adriana is going for her 9th win today. She is inching ever so close to super champion status. Can she do it?
I'll be watching. See y'all next week.
See you then.
Ken, what's that thing the kids say?
You mean smash the like, subscribe, and bell button so you'll be the first to know when we upload more great videos?
Yeah, that's it. Do that.